Right, welcome. We are all set up. This took way longer than it should have done. It's my second time using this setup with the tent and stove, and it's been, since I've arrived, about an hour trying to get it all where I want it, really. It'll do for now. But this is just a little overnight hot tent adventure on my own in a nice, quaint little woodland, which is very close to where I live, which is very handy. I can just wander up the street to get to here. First time being here though, so I'm still a little sketchy as to what's living around the area. But yeah, it should be a nice one. Should be a wet one. We've got rain all throughout the night. It's slightly spitting. It comes on and off in waves, but it's supposed to go through the night until tomorrow morning and then cut off around 8 in Sunday morning. Now, the plan is to just make a coffee, chill out while the light slowly dims. It is about, it's coming up to 5 o'clock at night. As I say, it's taking me way longer than it should have. But I think I'm about set to go. Temperature-wise, now it really doesn't warrant a hot tent, but as I say, this is the second time I've used this setup. And I didn't want to pack it away for the summer. I feel like as much as it's too hot for a hot tent, I can use it to cook. I can use it to just keep warm on an evening time, and then I'll let it die out over the night. When I go to bed, it'll be way too hot with it. But yeah, what I'll do, I'll get a coffee going. That could have been a disaster. I'll get a coffee going, and then come back, tell you the plan, tell you what I'm eating tonight, and get sorted. Right, welcome back. Coffee is made. Stove is just dying out. I've just turned it to let it die off. I'll keep the ashes in there and use that for dinner, which I am starting to think about now, or once I finish the coffee. It's going to be a Marmite teriyaki tofu with rice. I will show you how I make it. Now, obviously, you can. It's 100% plant-based, but you can replace the tofu with chicken, beef, whatever you fancy. It is up to you. But I've got all the pieces in these sorts of things, the stacks from Human Gear, which is actually a very nice piece of kit. I have one for coffee, one for tea, one for the dinner, which I'll get to once I finish this. Now the rain has held off. It is actually not raining at all, I don't think. It comes in spits and starts, but right now it's nice and calm, nice and peaceful. It is 5:30. The sun is going to be up for a few more hours. It's not going to go down until 7 or 8, maybe 9 o'clock, maybe even later. But being in a wood that's quite a heavy canopy, I feel like it will fade quite quick in here, or it will get dark in the tent quite quick. But no, the tent, right, so if you don't know, this is the Pomoly Stovehut 70. They've got a 20, they've got a 17, they've got a canvas one. When it was first released, it had some leak issues in the rain, and I was gutted when I saw it. I didn't purchase one. I saw a video about it because the minute I saw one, I really wanted one. I don't know what it is about this tent. I think it reminds me, because it's an A-frame tent, it reminds me very much of those when I was camping with the cubs, with the beavers. They always use those A-frame tents with, was it dollies that you put on the top? I can't remember. So I immediately fell in love with it, and I was looking into hot tent camping. With having Summer, my daughter, she would sleep on me in the daytime sometimes, and I would always just watch camping videos, and I got addicted to so many different camping videos, learnt more about hot tenting, and the difficulty was finding a stove. I didn't want a stove that was I didn't want the lightweight ones, because generally when I camp, it is very windy, very wet, and I didn't want one of those packable stoves where you had the sheet metal flue. I felt it would just be too dangerous, and it would be blown all over the place. So I wanted one that was solid. I didn't want it to be too heavy. I generally car camp more than anything, so it didn't really matter about the weight too much, but I didn't want it to be too heavy. And so I picked up this Pomoly Oroken Mini. Now it's the small version of the main one, and I think the main one's about 10 kilograms. This is about half that, 5 or 6. And it comes with a really nice harness as well, which is very handy. Not too heavy at all, but heavy enough to be sturdy and solid. And so far, as I say, I've only used the setup once before. So far, it is performing really well, and it really makes the tent hot. I have my eyes on a few other hot tents from Pomoly, from OneTigris. I did kind of go overboard on the OneTigris things. But yeah, I am so happy to be out camping again. Love the tent. It's not perfect by any means. It isn't perfect. It's a strange shape. It really is weird, but in a good way. It doesn't really hold up in wind too well. I think it would, because it's got such a high, it's like a sail, basically, a high side. It acts like a sail, so it does kind of move around quite a bit, which is not great when you've got a stove going. But there are other options out there that I'll pull out when the weather isn't too inclement, like today. And being in a wood, not too much wind at all. It's actually a lot drier than I thought it was. Looking at the weather on the approach to this camp, I thought I'd get drenched. But it's so still and calm. All I can hear is sheep, birds, a little bit of traffic. There is a main road a little bit off to that, in that direction. That's north. So south, west and east. Now the wind generally is coming from the southwest, so we are towards the north side of the wood, so any wind we're going to be well sheltered from. But yeah, I'm just enjoying it, so I'm just going to kick back, relax with my coffee, And then when I come back, we'll make dinner. It'll probably start getting darker then. It's getting chillier. It's definitely cooling off a bit. But yeah, cheers everybody. I'll see you in a few. That should do it. Right, so first thing first, got to get the rice on. So these are the Human Gear stacks. Now they come in, I think, large, medium and small, and I've got the small and medium. I think the large is a bit bigger than these. And I've got my rice there. I have some green pepper, tofu marinating in soy sauce, and then they're peanuts that I've crushed. Oh God, what is it? Spring onion and some sesame seeds as well. Now again, like I say, you can use chicken, you can use beef, you can use whatever you want to use. That's the rice. First thing I need to do is actually go around to the other side. There we are. So the fire should keep going. I'll stoke it up a bit more when the time is right. But so I have 65 grams of rice in here. For me, it's about 65 grams per person, and then it's 150 ml of water per 65 grams, if that makes sense. So if you're doing it for two, it would be 300 ml of water and 150 grams of rice. So I need to measure that out. What we're looking at there, it's got measurements on the inside here. Right, dinner is served. It is very nice. Hopefully I got some footage of it, of me cooking it. Difficult to get any angles on around that area because I've got a lot of trees over there. But I think it worked out alright. Got dinner, got a beer, I'm just going to relax, eat the food, listen to the sheep go crazy. I don't know what they're maring at. And then just chill out tonight, I think. Might be feeding time. I don't know. But so far, it's still held off from raining. I am expecting quite a bit of rain later on. I think it's still I'll have to check the forecast again. It could have changed. It's like its own little ecosystem around here. But yeah, I am expecting a bit more rain. Apologies if the audio is not great. I'm using my phone to record. And it's hanging from a tree on a tripod. So it's probably not ideal. But it's just so peaceful. Apart from those sheep. Very strange. Anyway, I'm going to get to eating. Cheers, everyone. Hope you're all having a nice dinner or whatever you're up to today. I'll be back in a sec. Right, that's dinner over and done with. I'll get cleaned up once I'm done with this. What I'll do is I'll put a little bit of water into the pots, like the rice pot, because that's slightly caked, and just let it heat up on the stove, just to kind of loosen all the bits, and then swill it off and throw it away. I only brought 2 litres of water, which should be more than enough, but I've just got to be cautious so I don't use it all up, because I need my morning coffee. I don't know what I'll be without that. But right now, it is still dry. There is a moderate storm warning or rain warning. I think it might be a rain warning up until about midnight tonight. It is now 7:20, and it's not raining yet. But I think it's going to start. It said it will start within the next hour, so it's going to come down, and I think it's going to be consistent throughout the night. So I will zip up and get hunkered down when that does come in. What I might do is do a little bit of exploring in the woods and just see what I can find. Just see if there's any other spots where I could camp. Because this is going to be a regular place for me. So basically where I live, there are a few farms dotted around, and this one in particular, this land in particular, I do a walk around very often with Summer, with my girlfriend Rachel, and there's a couple I know who work at the farm, so I asked them if it would be alright with the landowner if I could come and pitch up every now and again, because I do much prefer camping semi-wild, in the wild as much as possible compared to campsites. Nothing against campsites, it's just not the same thing. You've got other people, you've got noises. It's so much better to just be out in the wilderness on your own, or with friends and family, just relaxing. And they said that I could. Now, in terms of the wood for the stove, I didn't ask about whether I could harvest any wood. I haven't asked whether I could have a campfire. I will certainly get around to asking them about that. So I did bring my own wood, which I've definitely brought too much. I don't think I'll need to go through all that. I won't be heating it up tonight. I'm actually very comfortable temperature-wise right now. I'm not sure what it is because, as I say, I'm using the phone to tell me to record, so I'll have to double check that. But I don't think it's going to get any higher than 17 degrees. Well, actually, it'll be lower than that. It'll be, I think, 16 or 15. I don't know if I just heard some thunder. Might have been a vehicle rather than thunder, like an HGV. But yeah, anyway, I'll get cleaned up. I'll get everything all tidied up and put away. I won't be needing any of that for tomorrow because for breakfast it's just going to be coffee and a banana, maybe an apple if I don't need that tonight. But yeah, so far it's just so nice and peaceful. So grateful to be able to come out and just camp in a beautiful environment. And hopefully, over the course of these videos, I'll be able to show a bit more of this wood. I can't obviously tell where it is, say where it is, because it's private land and it's not for others to camp in. But I'll have a little explore and see what I can find and show it off, because it is quite pretty. Anyway, cheers to you all. Have a great evening. I will be back maybe when I go out travelling or when the rain starts. I'll keep you all updated. But so far, not much has happened. Apart from a pine cone falling on the tent while I was cooking. That scared me half to death. Anyway, catch you in a bit. Okay, it is now 5 minutes to 9. It is just slightly raining. Very slightly. I don't know if you can hear it. It's very faint. But I'm hoping it'll get a bit heavier. I'm going to call it a night now and just chill out for the evening. Call home and then get inside and snuggle in. Not sure why I just heard a gong. Might have been something dropping onto the... Not sure what that was. But yeah, as I say, I'm just going to maybe get into the inside the tent, stay a bit warmer. It's actually perfectly okay outside. I'm not cold at all. In fact, it's a little too warm. But yeah, I reckon it'll drop a little bit more. Maybe, well, I don't know what we're at now, but it's going to drop to about 14 degrees, I think, which is more than adequate. But it's been a really nice evening, just nice and chilled. But yeah, I will probably sign off inside at some point once I get set up in there with the lighting. But if it does come in heavy, then I'll let you know. And if anything happens overnight, I will be sure to let you know as well. Right, good evening everybody. It is 10:15 now, and the sun has gone down. It is lightly raining, not a lot, but hopefully enough just to send me off to sleep nicely. I'm just going to get settled in, get changed into some night clothes rather than day clothes. Hopefully we won't be too hot, too cold. Hopefully we'll be just right, and we'll get a good night's sleep. But I'll be back tomorrow morning. We'll get the stove going. I've turned it off now. It's too warm for a stove. So I'll get that cranked on tomorrow morning, get a coffee going, have a banana, and then I'll just start slowly packing away, I think, and getting home. Oh. But no, it's been a nice evening. Anyway, good night, and I'll see you in the morning. morning. It is a beautiful, wet, rainy morning in the woods. I'm going to get the stove on, get a coffee on the go, start getting packed away, and get ready to go. But it was a nice night. I had a good night's sleep. It definitely rained. It's still raining now. Anyway, let me get sorted, and then we'll get that coffee on the go. Oh, good morning, everybody. Hope we're all doing well. It is much wetter than it was last night. There was a lot of rain throughout the night. I think it woke me up a couple of times because it got pretty heavy. And it held out fine. There is no water in the tent. Let me just say that first. It's just when you make contact with the walls on that side specifically, it can drip in. The moisture can come off onto your hands. So ultimately, if it was an extended trip, not just for one day, I would certainly be wiping it down, like flapping all the water off. And if it was a continued rainfall, very heavy rainfall, I don't know how it would hold up. It's hard to say unless you put it through that, but it held up tonight. There was no water in the tent, so that's definitely a bonus. But I've got my coffee, I've got a banana for breakfast. I've already started packing away a little bit while I was waiting for the stove to boil the water. I'm going to let the stove cool down so that it's packable. Pack up the rest of my gear. Well, I'm going to enjoy a coffee first, but I'm going to pack up the rest of my gear. Get everything set, ready to go while the stove is cooling. And then once that's done, pack that up and get out of here. But that was very enjoyable. And there wasn't any crazy events last night. It could have been maybe a bird being, or not a bird, a rodent being attacked by a bird. There was quite a horrific screech, which woke me up with a shock until I realised that this isn't a horror movie and it's just a wood local to my home. So perspective is always good. But no, that was kind of freaky. But yeah, other than that, it's just been a pleasant night. I slept well. I was on and off. I don't know why, maybe just the rain starting and stopping. But all in all, very nice. And the tent did very well. Now the joy of packing it away. I won't be filming the pack up for two reasons. Firstly, it is raining, it is wet, and I don't want to be messing around in the wet with filming and doing the pack up. But also, secondly, I don't know if I ever want to film a pack up. Whenever I've been watching other YouTubers do camping videos, I always skip the bit where they pack away because it makes me sad, because I don't want it to end. So yeah, I probably won't be filming the pack up. But anyway, that was, as I say, a very pleasant camp. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be doing another one as soon as possible. Thanks again. Keep on camping.